Right now, while you are reading this, something is happening in your yard every single night that you have almost certainly never seen. Not because it is rare, not because it is far away, but because it happens after you shut the blinds, after the porch light goes off, after the feeder looks empty, after the trees become one black shape against the sky. And by the time you open your back door in the morning, it is already over. The northern cardinal that looked so bright and obvious at noon has disappeared into a holly bush like a red ember pushed under green glass. The black-capped chickadee, an 11-gram bird about the weight of 2 pennies, has lowered its body temperature to keep from burning through its last fuel. The eastern bluebirds that look territorial all day may be pressed together inside one tiny 6-inch nest box, turning their bodies into one shared furnace. And above all of that, in the dark air over your roof, millions of migrating birds may be crossing the continent, while weather radar quietly mistakes them for living weather. This is not emptiness, this is not sleep, this is not your yard turning off. It is cardinals hiding from teeth, chickadees rationing heat, bluebirds breaking their own personal space rules, doves carrying alarm signals in the sound of their wings, hummingbirds crossing 900 miles of black ocean on fat stars and magnetic pull, and birds sleeping with one eye still open, because something in the dark might be watching back. Welcome back to Backyard Bird Whispers. Today we are going to walk through exactly what happens in your yard after the daylight leaves. Stay until the very end because the last thing we cover changes the way you will experience every single night for the rest of your life. Point 1. The bird that vanishes first. Number 1. The northern cardinal does not simply go to sleep. That is the lazy version. That is the version humans tell because we see the red bird at the feeder, then we stop seeing it, and our brain files the whole thing under bedtime. But a cardinal's night begins with a decision. Not a cozy decision, not a cute decision, a survival decision. A northern cardinal usually roosts within a few hundred feet of the territory it used all day. That means the bird you saw near the sunflower seeds may not be far away at all. It may be tucked into the evergreen shrub beside your fence. It may be buried in a vine tangle behind the shed. It may be sitting inside a holly bush so dense that even your eyes would slide right over it. Not because the cardinal loves privacy, not because it is shy, because in darkness beauty becomes a liability. That red plumage that looked like a tiny flame in the afternoon can become a target if the bird chooses the wrong sleeping place. So the cardinal trades visibility for cover. It folds its body into dense vegetation where branches break up its outline, where leaves block the angle of a predator's stare, where a cat, a raccoon, or a great horned owl has to work harder to find it. That is biological survival strategy for predator evasion in its plainest form. Do not sleep where the night can see you. And this is where the behavior becomes strangely intimate, because the cardinal has spent all day in the same human-shaped world you occupy. Your fence line, your hedge, your messy corner of ivy, your overgrown shrub you keep meaning to trim. To you it may look like yard clutter. To the cardinal it may be a locked bedroom door, a tiny fortress, a place where one wild animal chooses concealment over panic, and when it slips into that bush and goes still, that stillness is not absence. It is a message written in feathers. I survived today because this place gave me somewhere to disappear. Point 2. Why a bird the weight of 2 pennies can survive a freezing night. Number 2. The black-capped chickadee is not surviving winter by being tough. Tough is too simple. Tough does not explain how an 11-gram bird, lighter than a house key, can sit through a sub-freezing night without running out of fuel before morning. The real answer is controlled surrender. On bitter nights, black-capped chickadees can enter regulated hypothermia. That means the bird deliberately lets its body temperature drop, sometimes by as much as 22 degrees Fahrenheit, not in a random collapse, not in sickness, in a managed power down. Like dimming every light in a house so the last battery does not die before sunrise, its heart slows, its metabolism eases back, its fat reserves last longer, the body stops spending heat like loose change. Then the physics of the hiding place matters. A chickadee inside an old woodpecker hole, a bark gap, or a nest box is not just inside something, it is inside a heat trap. The walls block wind, the small opening reduces heat loss. The bird's body warms a pocket of air, and that air stays close instead of being stolen by the night. That is the physical thermodynamics of enclosed biological spaces, translated into backyard language. A tiny bird turns a hole in wood into a sleeping bag. And eastern bluebirds push the idea even further. In winter, 12 to 15 of them can pack into a single 6-inch nest box, suspending their normal 30-foot daytime spacing. All day distance matters, at night heat matters more, the rule changes, territory loses, survival wins. Number 3. Some birds do not sleep with the kind of sleep you think they do. A human shuts both eyes and leaves the room. A bird cannot always afford that. Birds can use something called unihemispheric slow-wave sleep, which sounds cold until you translate it. It means one half of the brain rests while the other half keeps watch. One eye can stay open. One side can keep scanning. One side can keep asking the same ancient question: is something coming? Cornell Lab of Ornithology Avian Sleep Studies describe this as a real survival tool. Not a myth, not a cartoon trick, not poetic exaggeration. So imagine a mourning dove on a bare branch after midnight. One eye closed, one eye open, half resting, half guarding. Its body trying to recover while the dark still contains cats, raccoons, and great horned owls. That tiny open eye is not paranoia. It is a doorway left unlocked just enough for danger to be noticed. And when a bird stays near your porch, near your window, near the shape of a human house, it may not be asking for affection the way we want it to. It may be borrowing safety. It may be using your presence as a wall the predator does not want to cross. Point 4. What the night sounds like when danger moves. Number 4. The sound you hear in the dark is not random panic, it is information. A mourning dove exploding from a tree at night does not just make noise because it is clumsy. Its wings produce a high-pitched whistle during rapid flushing flights. That whistle can warn other doves nearby. Even when there is no light, even when bodies are moving faster than eyes can sort them, that sound is not decoration. It is an alarm passed through feathers, a danger signal built into motion itself. This is acoustic predator evasion and intraspecies alarm signaling in plain backyard terms. The bird's wings become a siren, and that changes the way you should hear a sudden night flutter beside your garage. Not as chaos, not as a spooky sound, not as something in the bush. It may be one bird telling every other dove in the dark, move now. Then there is the American robin, the bird most people think belongs to morning. But in cities, robins can begin singing between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. because artificial light can trigger the same hormonal response as natural sunrise. The street lamp lies. The bird's body believes it. A porch light, a parking lot, a glowing window, a gas station sign 2 blocks away. These can press the wrong button inside the robin's system. The bird wakes into a fake dawn. Its hormones rise. Its song begins while you are still asleep. Not because the robin is confused in a silly way, because its body was built for sunrise, and humans brought sunrise into the night. So when you hear a robin singing at 1:37 a.m., that sound is not just beautiful, it is a receipt. Proof that the artificial world has reached inside a wild animal and moved the clock. And then, higher than your roof, beyond your porch light, beyond the trees you can name, another category of night behavior is happening, at a scale almost too large for the mind to hold. Ruby-throated hummingbirds, birds so small they can sit on your thumb, can fly 900 miles non-stop across the Gulf of Mexico at night. No branch, no feeder, no rest stop. Just black water underneath and stars above. They navigate by stars and magnetic fields. They burn fat like a living match. They cross a distance so huge that if you tried to drive it, it would take most of a day. And they do it with a body that weighs less than a nickel. That is not fragile. That is a miracle with wings. Point 5. The night, minute by minute. Number 5. Here is what your yard may be doing while you think nothing is happening. At 7:30 p.m. the cardinal begins to vanish. Not far, not gone, just folded into cover, a red body hidden inside holly, cedar vine, or evergreen shadow. At 9 p.m. the chickadee has chosen the smallest shelter it can trust. An old woodpecker cavity, a crack behind loose bark, a nest box with wooden walls only a few inches wide. It is already conserving heat like every calorie is a candle that must last until morning. At 11 p.m. the bluebirds may be pressed shoulder to shoulder in a single box, 12 bodies, 15 bodies. Daytime rules suspended. The normal 30-foot spacing erased by cold, their warmth pooled in the dark. At 1 a.m., an American robin under artificial light may begin singing into the wrong sunrise. His body reading a street lamp is morning, his throat giving the night a song it did not ask for. At 2 a.m., a mourning dove may launch from a branch with a wing whistle, sharp enough to warn others before they even see what moved. At 3 a.m., some birds are not fully gone into sleep at all, one hemisphere resting, one hemisphere watching, one eye closed, one eye open. The yard divided between recovery and alarm. And above this, in April, May, September, and October, the sky itself can thicken with migration. Millions of birds, not a flock you can point to, a biological mass, so large that meteorological radar can detect it, tracked by Birdcast and Cornell Lab of Ornithology radar monitoring systems like living weather crossing the map. They are not visible from your kitchen window. They are not asking for applause. They are moving over your roof while you sleep under it. The cardinal is hiding. The chickadee is cooling. The bluebirds are sharing heat. The dove is warning. The robin is answering false light. The hummingbird is crossing an ocean of darkness. The radar is watching the sky breathe. And your yard, which looked empty, was never empty at all. Number 6, the strangest part is that the night is not just a time period. It is a system of information. A bird does not experience darkness as one simple blanket thrown over the yard. It experiences layers: heat, cover, wind, light, sound, smell, memory. Predator routes, safe gaps, unsafe branches, the exact shrub where it survived yesterday, the exact box where another body made the cold less deadly. To a northern cardinal, a holly bush is not scenery, it is architecture. To a chickadee, a bark gap is not a crack, it is a furnace. To an eastern bluebird, another bluebird's body is not competition, it is survival equipment. To a mourning dove, a wing beat is not just escape, it is a broadcast. To a robin, a street lamp is not just light, it is a false command. And to a ruby-throated hummingbird crossing the Gulf of Mexico, the night sky is not empty space, it is a map. Stars above, magnetic pole below, fat burning inside its body like a tiny emergency engine. That is why the dark yard deserves more respect than we usually give it. Because while you are sleeping, birds are reading a version of the world you barely know exists. They are calculating risk without math, sharing heat without language, sounding alarms without words, following maps without roads, keeping watch without fully waking. And sometimes without knowing it, you are part of that system too. Your untrimmed hedge may be the cardinal's shield. Your nest box may be the bluebird's winter room. Your porch light may be the robin's false sunrise. Your quiet presence near the window may be the reason one nervous bird risks sleeping closer to the house, borrowing you like a wall against the teeth moving through the dark. Tomorrow morning before your alarm, do one small thing. Do not rush outside. Do not open the door hard. Do not flood the yard with light. Just stand at the window while the house is still quiet. And look at the places you normally ignore, the holly bush, the cedar corner, the nest box, the vine tangle behind the fence, the dark line where the shrubs meet the ground. That is how you ask permission, not by grabbing nature, by arriving softly enough that it does not have to run. Because now you know the truth. Your yard was not empty last night. It was shelter. It was a heat bank. It was an alarm network. It was a migration corridor. It was a place where tiny bodies made impossible decisions while you slept. If you have ever heard your yard before the sun came up, tell me which bird you noticed first and what time of year it was. I read every comment. I will see you in the next one. Backyard Bird Whispers.